Hi there, I'm Charmaine Boggs. I'm the artist behind this YouTube channel, C Boggs Art, and I'm also the designer behind a jewelry collection that goes by the name Thoroughly Modern Mimi. I've been doing both almost all my life. I discovered art as a young child, and several years ago, I discovered the fun of making jewelry. I started out as a beader, and then I branched out into working with other art materials. And I finally found what I really enjoy the most, embossing metals. So I've begun to add some metals to my collections. Right now I have earrings and some bracelets. I'm working on some new designs for necklaces as well. In this video, what I'd like to do is share a little bit of the process that goes into making the pieces that you'll see in my shop on Etsy. Thoroughly Modern Mimi. The process begins with an embossing machine. I use a Sizzix Big Kick. There are others on the market as well. This one is designed for lighter weight metals. I can also emboss or cut images into cardstock and other sorts of materials, but it's made for lightweight materials. So I'm going to be demonstrating how this machine works. It's nothing fancy. It does not have any computer chips, does not plug into the wall. It's a good old hand crank, but it does the job beautifully. Today I'm going to be using these small copper blanks. I'm planning to make earrings, and I have a pattern here that has, this is the Native American pattern. That one right there is the one that I showed you on the jewelry I had made before, but I'm going to use this design right here. Because it's just this one small area, I'm only going to be able to do one piece of copper at a time. So I'm going to line the copper up where I want it to show in the design. And it's sometimes a little tricky. If it slides, I have to be prepared to be a little bit unhappy with the results. And I'm going to close the little container. And I have 2 sheets of plastic here, plexiglass. I'm going to put this here and put another piece of plexiglass over the top. And then I'm going to simply turn the handle, move this up here so you can see, turn the handle, and it's going to run through the machine. And as it runs through, I'm going to feel pressure. And as it finishes the job, a little click, and I know that it's gone through the machine. And then I can pull out the blank, and there I have my pattern well stuck into here. It can sometimes be a little tough to get them out. This one just does not want to leave. Yeah, there we go. And there I have my pattern. So I have it indented here, or I have a raised surface on this side, and I can use either side as my design. So I often have things that I work on 2 sides. I generally prefer the raised sides. I think that the images are much nicer when you're using that raised side. Now the second one that I put through may or may not be exactly like the first one. I'll try to line it up closely, but there are no guarantees that it's going to be identical, and that's perfectly okay. Close it up. Now I'm going to put it in reverse. I'm going to lay it over here, put the plexiglass on top, and now I'm going to roll it in the opposite direction so it works back and forth. Heard the little pop. Pull it out. Open it up. And I have my second earring. And I'm going to work on getting that out of there, and then I'll show you how I polish and paint. So I have these ready to use. All right, once my blanks are ready to use, they have their design on them, the next step is to do a little bit of polishing. And I have a polishing block. It's very, very fine grit, much finer than a sandpaper. And what this will do is bring out the raised surfaces of each part of my design. So I'll do a little polishing to get started. And I usually polish both sides, especially if I'm not sure which side is going to become the perfect side. And especially with earrings, I like to make sure both sides are nicely finished. Once I have them polished, I'm going to be using an onyx colored patina for metal. Onyx will just add, it's like a darkener. So I'm going to take one side and a paintbrush, and I'm just going to spread the onyx over the entire surface. Like so. And give it a minute to dry. After just a few minutes, that onyx coloring is dry enough. None of it is coming off. Now I'll go back to my polishing block and simply polish out those raised surfaces. So now I have the onyx in the background and I have the raised copper surfaces shining brightly. This will take a little more polishing to get everything looking the way I want it. But you can see here the design is already starting to show. Like so. And here you have the finished earrings. I took them back in the back to my workbench. And you'll see here that I did put a little patina on the back side, so they're equally nicely finished. And I did a little bit of wire wrapping with some copper wire, and then I have some copper rings. And the ear wires that I'm using on this pair are copper colored niobium. Niobium is a wonderful metal for those who have allergies to metals, who are sensitivity. I have yet to hear of anyone who has a sensitivity to niobium. So when you see that on a pair of earrings, that is a really good sign for someone with allergies that they're dealing with. The last thing I'll do before I put these on an earring card and ready to let them go is take a little bit of Renaissance wax and give them a nice polishing. And this will help to preserve the color of the copper and make it less likely to tarnish for the next person who gets to wear this lovely pair of earrings. And here they are on the earring card, ready for a new home. Thanks for stopping by. I enjoyed sharing my process with you, and I hope you learned a little bit about how these earrings are made. So the next time you're visiting an art show or a museum gallery gift shop, you'll have a little bit of insight into some of the processes that artists might be using to create those beautiful pieces that are behind the glass in those cases. You'll find a link to my Etsy shop underneath this video. I'd love to have you stop by and take a look and see what's going on at Thoroughly Modern Mimi.